And welcome to another Mario Party 7 minigame review. Last time we reviewed an Abomination Amongst Men, episode 4, a new deck. Okay, I'll stop with this stupid joke. It's been going on for way too long, and it's not even funny. Just desperately hoping that we get a minigame that's at least a 4-star. Since we haven't gotten a minigame that is at the least of a 4-star since Catchy Tunes, about 5 reviews prior, no, maybe even 6. That is just sad. Today, we are doing the 1 vs 3 minigame, Easy Pickings. So let's get to it, shall we? So here's how you play this minigame. You and the team of 3 are inside a gigantic cave. The single player is able to break rocks with a golden pickaxe that can just simply break rocks in 1 hit. The team of 3, each member has a silver pickaxe that can break rocks in 3 hits. And there are rocks that randomly have nothing. Like, there's red gems, and there's purely just purple gems. The purple gems are worth 3 points, and the red gems are worth 1 point each. And your job is to try to get the most points within the 30-second time span. You gotta use your space carefully, though, because you don't know what's gonna be inside those rocks. Yeah, that's the problem with this minigame, is that it's honestly a complete wild card of what's going to be inside those gems. And this commonly leads to some pretty unfair advantages lead on the 1, because the single player can just hit rocks at multiple times, because even though the team of 3 has more people, their pickaxes can be hit much slower, and the single player can just constantly hit them at fast pace, which means they're more likely to get more of the jewels. And that's where the other thing comes in, the luck element, because, well, it's not really too much of a bad thing to it, because, well, if there's nothing in a rock, that just means that it just barely wastes any time for you. However, the big problem is that there's the potential chance of a win being snapped away within the last second. And I have commonly seen the single player win, even if I'm not on that side, which is kind of unfair in a lot of ways. And do you know what is honestly even more common? A draw! Yeah, it's just mullet night mode all over again. However, probably less bad because it isn't painfully atrocious to move around, but it's just the simple fact that this minigame is mostly unremarkable. The theming is pretty cool, I will say that, and it is a bit nice to have a win being snatched away the last second, but at the same time it's not, because, well, kind of leads to a lot of unfair plays. But yeah, I'm just kind of spitballing at this point because I don't have much to say on this minigame. You know what? We can just go to the overall thoughts. Easy Pickings is an outright unremarkable minigame. This minigame is kind of annoying in some remarks as well, because this minigame could just have gems spawn in just random-ass places most of the time, and it just becomes very irritating, because this minigame could come down to somewhat luck. Yeah, I just hate the fact that this minigame could just have some sort of luck element, and just have a win be swapped out in, like, last second. It barely feels like skill. At least the pickaxes are pretty different to give everyone a fair advantage. Like, the single player has a big pickaxe, while the team of 3 has just, like, 3 pickaxes that do, like, 3 hits for 1 rock. However, that is not saying much about the luck element. Just a completely unremarkable minigame. I was going to give it 3 stars, at least. However, because of the luck element and how much it just kind of makes things skewed for the single player, I'm going to give it 2 stars. But it was close. I'm telling you right now, it was close. And that's it for today. Up next, we're going to be reviewing Fish and Chips. See you guys then.
Mining away. I don't know what to mine. I'll mine this anyway.